Alright, how's it going, everybody? I just received the new 8-bit do N64 controller hardware kit. You can see here, this is the mod kit to convert your existing N64 controller into a Bluetooth controller. So you're keeping the stock controller, stock buttons, stock joystick. There is an ability to replace the joystick with a new joystick. Unfortunately, that kit was sold out, so I was only able to get the hardware kit. So I'm going to be doing that mod today. So I just cracked open the seal here, but I did not look inside. So let's go ahead and get started on this. All right, so I'm not entirely sure what to expect here. I just read a review on Twitter, and that's about it. So I thought I'd put together a video for you all. So let's go ahead and get it open. All right, so it looks like we have an instruction set. It looks pretty simple. You simply just remove the screws, pop the cable out, and pretty much just replace it. It also comes with a little rumble pack as well. All right, looks like the back side has some additional instructions on how to pair it, and also just looks like they have another language here as well. All right, take a look at that in a moment. So in the kit, it looks like we have a USB C to A connector. We have an included screwdriver, which is awesome. We have here this first pouch here. It looks like we have the little adapter. This will plug into the bottom of the controller. This is where normally the rumble pack or the stock rumble pack goes, along with the memory card, but that's all built right in here. So this will be interesting to see. And I believe this is the main kit here. Yep, it's the main board. Here's the board. There we go. Also, there is a little plug in here. I think this is, yeah, this little plug is for the replacement of the cable output. Since there won't be a cable anymore, we need to put a little nub in there to kind of protect it. So that's the little nub there. All right, so here is the board. Initial impressions, looks really good. I've seen other N64 controller boards before. Stock ones, they're pretty standard. So this would be your Z button, this would be your up, down, left, right. Here's your start. Here's A and B, and then the C buttons. Okay, we flip it over here. Looks like we have here the top left and right triggers. Looks like this is where the controller pack goes. Yes, I didn't notice that earlier. Looks like it's just a pinout. It fits right in here. Different than the existing controller, which is more of a port. You see here with a board that would be inserted. This one looks like it uses pins, and I believe this is where you set up a joystick. Okay, looks like right here is our Bluetooth module. Yeah, so this looks like a great board. Oh, and here's the battery as well. Alright, so let's get started on this. So I'm going to set this aside. And let me unravel my N64 controller here. I have a couple of these controllers just lying around. The joystick isn't the greatest on it. I do want to replace it with some kitchen bent gears and a new bowl if possible. But unfortunately, I don't have those right now. I have those in my main controller. So this was just one of my spare ones that was in pretty good shape. So we'll try it out. All right, so I'm going to use the included screwdriver and remove the screws. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 big screws, and also 2 little screws in the top here. It's actually a pretty nice screwdriver. I mean, they're pretty standard, but it's nice to have one that fits perfect. So so you have to fill around with it or worry about stripping it. It's also slightly magnetized as well, which is, I don't know if all screwdrivers are like that, but. Alright, now the two top ones in here. These are the small ones, so you want to keep them separate. Oh, sorry, they're small. They're thinner than the other ones you can see here. Comparing the two screws, as you can see, slightly different. So just be sure you use the right screws when putting them back. So there's only two of them. Okay, so those, keep those separate here. And the back should just come right off. These can get a little grimy. So let's see, I haven't opened this controller before, so there's the back. I'll just set that aside. So here is the stock board, as you can see here. All right. Nothing really of note here. I'm going to go ahead and take out the two top buttons here. All right. We're also going to have to use these stock rubber membranes, so we're going to keep those aside. All right. So if you realize here, the orange one will go on the, facing this way, left side, and the gray will go on the right. Okay. And here is the Z button. We'll take that out. Use the membrane for that. Okay, and we'll just unwind that and also take out the ribbon the cable for the joystick. Now, normally we use a flathead screwdriver or something to kind of wiggle it out, but I'm just gonna kind of use my nail here. That's the best I can do. All right, so now you can replace this entire module if you need to with a new, I believe it looked like a GameCube style joystick. Some of the aftermarket ones that are currently out there are terrible. I've tried them and they never work that well. The stock one always just felt best. They do have repair kits for these now to kind of remove some of the jiggle that's within the joystick. The new one that 8Bit released along with this kit looked amazing from the tests that they provided online. But again, unfortunately, they didn't have those in stock. So I'm going to leave the stock one here, which is great. And let's go ahead and remove the panel. All right, so I'm just going to set that aside. But yeah, here's the stock one. This is what it looks like. Could use a cleaning, but yeah, we won't need that now. Set that aside. All right, so I'm going to leave the membranes in place. Now, it might be a good time to clean this inside here. I'm just going to leave it alone right now. It's getting kind of late, so I want to get this going here and test it out. So just double check everything, be sure the buttons are in, and everything looks good. All right, to me, everything looks okay. So let's go ahead and put the new kit in. So we're going to install this battery side down. Okay. And then let's see how this fits. Let's see here. Make sure I don't bend anything that isn't supposed to be bent here. Let's see how this fits in here. Okay. So it should just line right up. There we go. It's really snug, which it should be. There we go. Wow, that's a great fit. Okay, it just slid right in there, as you guys saw. Okay, now there's no screws kind of holding it in as of yet. It's kind of held in with the back of the controller. But let's still go ahead and start replacing everything here. All right, so I'm going to put the button in here. Oh, look at that. Oh, there we go. So it looks like it twists a different way. So we have to twist it around and place it in on the top here. I think this is the right way. I can't really tell. No, I think it goes upside down. Yeah. All right, so you gotta be sure you orientate this correctly. Kind of tricky to tell. Let's see if this is the right way. I'm not gonna force anything here, so there we go. Okay, yeah, so it fit in the first time I tried, as you saw, it didn't really go in. I wasn't going to force it, so I twisted it around and it went right in. Okay. So now let's go ahead and place the Z trigger without bending the board and the cable connection. I mean, I can always resolder it, but let's see here. I really don't want to. All right, so there we go. So the pointy end goes pointing outward, right? And the flat end with the ribbon faces down. Okay. Now we're going to place that with the blue pad. I believe they're all universal, but I believe they're all blue. So let's go ahead and just pop that on there. It kind of just sits on there, kind of underneath these notches, and you'll notice it's kind of keyed as well with these little dimples here. These go into these little 2 ports here. So I just kind of finagle it a bit. Make sure it pops in. There we go. Kind of get them under the little notches there. There we go. That's a good fit. All right, so now everything's flush and sitting on there. Okay. Now we have the membranes for the trigger buttons. All right, so this goes like so. Just line them up, and again, these are keyed. There's the little dimples there and the little dimples here for right. It's on my left side, but it says R here for right if one's face up. All right, so that looks good. Let's see here. I think this orientates downward like this. I believe. Is it upward? Can't really tell. Okay, so the little dimple on the top faces upward. Okay, so just have to do a little finagling here, and as you can see here, it says it's the big L here for left. It's on my right hand side, but right face up. When the controller is upward, it's considered my left trigger. Let's go ahead and put this in here. There we go. That looks really good. All right, so put this in place the best I can. Okay, it's really snug fit, which is good. There we go. There's one side. Okay, so they kind of bounce out a little bit, so just be sure you push down and hold them in place. Same for the other side, so you have to be sure that the rounded edge is facing up. Right, so you have to kind of finagle it in here. Okay, so this might go smoother, you know, if you do a couple of these kits. This is my very first time, so so far I think it's been going pretty smoothly. All right, so there's that. Okay. Let's get this in here. There we go. Okay, not bad. All right, so let's put the buttons back in. This is right. So you can tell the way they go in is because the longer post face downward. Okay. So let's put that in there and kind of seat it just right. This one keeps popping out, but it'll be all right once everything's sealed, of course. So everything's kind of held in by that back plate. So there we go. Okay, so that is that. And of course we have that little transparent insert here. I'm not sure how it goes. Let's see if we can figure it out. Maybe it's on the top. No? Let's see. Like that? No? Oh, maybe we should install this first. Okay. Alright, I wasn't expecting that. So, let's see if I can finagle it in there. Let's see. I think this has a notch on the bottom, right? So I believe this will kind of sit underneath. Get it in there. Pop it out just a second. There we go. That wasn't bad. I just kind of pry it up a little bit, and it fits really good in there. All right, I'll show you a better shot when the back's back on. All right, so let's go ahead and flip this over. Let's see if I got this right the first time. Okay, a little bit of finesse here. On. Am I missing something here? Okay. Nope. Nope. There we go. Okay, so you have to get that long post in place. And there we go. So it kind of just, everything kind of just has to line up. There we go, it's like a click. Let's see if I get this side over. There we go. There we go. Quick look around here, see if it can fit. All right, so a couple screws will go along right here. Screws in, so I'll do these small ones last. I just kind of want to test the fitment here, so throw the screws in there. Let's just throw a couple around and test. There you go. A great screwdriver, works really well. You don't have to force it too much, but there we go. Something's off here. There we go. All right, so I just put 3 screws in. I'm sorry. Yeah, a couple screws in here. So let's check the buttons. This one's clicking really well. This one feels the same. Start, A, B. Those feel good. That feels good. And left and right feel good. So yeah. You can go ahead and button this up now, and you can see the little dent in there. Looks really, really good. There is the port. Okay, let's go ahead and put the rest of the screws in. Now I am missing 1 screw, but that's all right. It should hold together just fine. Okay, now these are the trickier ones. So you just fit the screw on and just go slow and just line it up, and then you should be good to go. All right, that's a good fit. This control is pretty much done. That was not bad. Let me check the screws tightened. All right, and that is the install. It feels about the same. Let's go ahead and put the adapter in here. So this is the Rumble pack. And I think this is the Bluetooth sync as well. let's go ahead and plug it in here. Now remember, it's not using like a card insert like the normal memory cards. It's using a pinout. Actually, let me show you. So a standard memory card has the board in there, and as you can see, it uses a pinout. So you cannot use the original ones. You can hear it click in, but it's not connected to anything. You have to use this pin one. All right, it's the only one that will fit. All right, so let's go ahead and insert that. All right, nice clean fit. Hear that nice click, and there we go. It feels really good. It has a really nice weight to it. And there we go. All right, so I'm gonna charge this up, and let me get back to you guys to final test. Okay, so when I stepped away, I had an idea. I thought I'd show you all the controllers that I currently have. Now these are all different types of controllers for the N64, and well, not necessarily 64, but a way to play them on the 64. And you can also use these on the Switch as well, and maybe not these, but they can, if they're Bluetooth, or yes, you can use them on the N64 via this adapter right here that was just released. This is from Retrotime, and it works great. This is a Bluetooth module for the N64. It's pretty official looking to me, but this is a project piece, and it's for sale online. I'll give a link in the description. But yeah, in essence, it's a Bluetooth module available for the N64. You simply plug it in and you pair your Bluetooth controller. You can use the official N64 or the NSO controller. You can use just Xbox controllers, anything you want, which is pretty remarkable. You're very lucky nowadays for the N64, all the different controller options that we have available. Now, personally, I really love the original N64. That's just the way the games are meant to be played. By using third-party controllers, other controllers for other consoles for the N64, it just doesn't always feel right. But the fact that we have that capability is quite amazing just by this little dongle here. Okay. So yeah, so you have to get one of these if you're interested in using Bluetooth on your N64. All right. So that out of the way, these are the controllers that I have. Some are official ones, some are third party, but I thought I'd show the differences between them, just as a quick overview. I guess I'll start over here on the bottom right. This is the most recent controller that I obtained, other than doing the quick mod here. This is the 40 Winks controller. This came packaged with the 40 Winks game that was released by Pinko. The controller is not that great, to be perfectly honest. You can definitely tell it's a third party controller just by the shape. It has kind of a goofy, like gummy, chunky feel to it. And I was playing 40 Winks with it and a few other games, and it just feels like a third-party controller. It's okay. I don't know about the collectability of this controller or anything like that, but it works, but there are better options out there. The clicking in the joystick really gets to me. It just doesn't, just feels like a third-party controller. It's okay, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather stick to the official one. Okay, I do have a video, an old video on this, if you're interested in taking a look at it. Set that aside here. Oh, and by the way, this is not Bluetooth. This is a physical cable connection. All right, next over here, I guess we'll go to this one. This is the Retrofighters. It's designed kind of like a Hori controller, which unfortunately I do not have, not the official one. I'll get to this one here, which looks like it, but I don't have an official Hori pad yet. But yeah, this one came out. This was a Kickstarter that I was able to join in on. It's a great controller. It does feel nice. The joystick feels good. It does come with some additional buttons. Okay. This is the wired version, by the way, so you have to plug this one in, so you don't need the Bluetooth dongle. And it does fit right into the N64. Now, personally, like I said, I really like the feel of the original controller. I know it's goofy looking. The modern controllers are, used, but the main takeaway here is the joystick. Now, the joystick just doesn't have the right feel or throw when you use it. It's okay. Again, I'd rather stick with the original. It is a very nice controller. I know a lot of people use it for Smash Brothers, and it works. It does have an overall nice feel. It's just the joystick just doesn't do it for me. So I have it. I was happy to kickstart it, but just not really for me. All right, next up is the Hyperkin. This is designed sort of like the Hori controller. It's Bluetooth, so you will need a Bluetooth adapter, such as this little guy here. And it should connect to it and it should work. The joystick is comically small, in my opinion. It does have a good throw. The buttons are clicky. It does feel good in the hands, but again, not an official controller. It just doesn't do it for me. I thought I'd try it. This is from Hyperkin, and this is the Admiral Bluetooth. I think there's a 2.4 version available as well. I remember using this a while ago, and there was significant delay. I don't know if it was because of the Bluetooth adapter I was using at the time. It just, yeah, it was not really what I wanted. I do like the style, I do like the feel, but it just didn't feel like a proper N64 controller for playing classic games. So I still have it. It looks okay, but not really for me. But yeah, this is the closest to the Hori controller that I could find at a reasonable price. Hori controllers, by the way, are pretty expensive. All right, next up is this Retrobit 8-Bit Do N64 controller, and you can see by first glance here, it looks like the official N64 controller. This controller came out a number of years ago, before the official Bluetooth or wireless controller came out from Nintendo. This was taken off the market and discontinued. It was only on the market for a little while. I was lucky enough to pre-order one and get one. I did upload a video on this when I did receive it a number of years ago, and I'm not really a fan. The connections kept dropping and the joystick just wasn't sensitive enough. I think it was the module that was in here. I recovered it in the original video, but I wasn't really too happy with it. I originally connected this to my Nintendo Switch, not to my N64, but yeah, the buttons overall feel right. The weight is really good. As you can see here, we do have some indicator lights. It connects via a mini USB, I believe. I can't remember what the port is. It's not USB-C. I remember that. I can't remember what port it is, but it's mini or micro USB, I'm not sure. It does have a dummy port here, but you cannot insert accessories in here. All you really get is the connect option, and that's pretty much it. I have really, really high hopes for this to play games on the Switch with this, at least when I originally purchased it. But just kind of put it away. I never really used it again. It was just not there. So I can understand why it was discontinued. I'm not sure if you can still purchase these anywhere else, maybe on eBay. But yeah, here's the Retrobit 8-Bit Do N64 controller. All right. We talked about this one already. This is the one we just modded. And here is the NSO controller. Now this controller is amazing. I was so impressed with it when it was first released. I was very happy with it. I kind of wish it came in different colors. It'd be nice to have a green one or a transparent one. Something like that, it would be amazing. But the classic gray looks great. It feels really good. It connects just fine. You can see all the extra buttons that we have here on the top. Now I've only tested this on the on the Nintendo Switch. Works perfect. If you have a low latency TV or a monitor, it just plays really, really well. You cannot insert any additional accessories, so no rumble pack or memory card, but the rumble is already built in. The memory pack is not really needed because NSO automatically saves your games online. But yeah, it's just an amazing controller. They did an amazing job with the joystick. It's very tricky to duplicate and get right, and Nintendo's the only one that can get it right. It just feels really good, and it feels like an original N64 from 1996. And yeah, everything is right about this controller, and I'm very, very happy with it. And I love having this and using it on my N64. It'd be great. From what I've read online, this adapter does work with it. I have not tested it out yet. Maybe I will for this video when I get to testing here. So yeah, keep that in mind. I highly recommend getting these. Now these pop in and out of stock, every so often. So be sure to keep an eye out, and I do highly recommend it. It's totally worth the money if you're like playing N64 games. Now, if you're interested in playing other games, of course, it just doesn't work. The button layout for other consoles doesn't really work. It only really works well for N64 games. All right. So that was that. I thought I'd give you a tour of the controllers I do have for my N64, and I'm gonna go ahead and charge this up now and then connect it to my dongle here and go ahead and start trying it out. All right, thanks everyone. All right, so we're back. I hooked up my EverDrive on my N64. This is a low latency monitor that I have, and I have it hooked up through my HDMI connector. I have the HDMI mod on my N64, which is amazing. So it's been great so far. And here's the controller. I charged it up for a little bit. One neat thing I noticed is this little nub here actually is an indicator light. So you can tell if it's charging or not. This light down here also lights blue as well, and this one turns red when it's charging, which is pretty cool. All right, so let's go ahead and try and do some tests here. First, I want to connect my N64 to my controller. Let me move my camera a bit here. Get down here. So sorry for the wonkiness of it, but it's the best I have. So from my understanding, I just have to push this button here to connect it. Try this again. Okay, that one looks like it's in pairing mode now. Let me push this one. Oh, it looks like I have to push a button on the controller to turn it on. Oh, I think it paired. Let's see. Oh, yep, that was it. Okay, so in order for it to initially pair, you have to push a button on the controller to activate this. And then put this in sync mode. Hold this for 2 seconds. And then push this button here. And it will connect. And let me move the camera a bit. Center back to the frame. And I downloaded a controller tester just to see how it works. So as you can see here, it's working. Let's see here. See, you can see it's selecting. Let me go down to the controller tester. All right, so this is a controller tester that I found online. Let's test it out. All right, let's see if this will work better. So I'm gonna go ahead and click start, and I'm gonna move around the joystick. So you guys can see. All right, so it's moving around the screen, which looks really good. Let's go ahead and proceed to do a benchmark. And let's take a look at the dots here on the screen. All right, again, got some funny results here. I don't know if it's my joystick or not. Let's do another test mode. So that's the readout. Let's do another one here. Okay, I should have an octagonal type look to it. I don't know. Let's try next benchmark. All right, so here's another one. So we just pretty much put the controller in its position. So I'm gonna push up and then A, top, right. Okay, so that's pretty close. I'm gonna do a test on the OEM controller just to see how this compares, but looks pretty good. I'm gonna go try playing a game real quick just to see, but I'm gonna come back and test with an official controller just to compare. Okay. So let me reset. So it looks like the dongle should automatically connect. There we go. Let's go ahead and play a quick game. No sound, of course. There we go. Okay, so it seems to have lost the sync. I don't know if that's normal. Let's go ahead and try just a quick game. What's a good one? I'll do Bomberman here. Again, no audio. Audio does work. I have it turned off for licensing purposes. Sorry, I should be showing the controller. Let's do a single battle just to run around a little bit here. Let's see what you can see. All right, let's do a quick. Feels good. seems really responsive. I want to do that controller test again though. I'm going to compare it, but just playing really quickly here. Just running around, it feels really good and responsive. All right, let's do another compare. I'll turn this off. Yeah, it looks like I have to pair it again. Not too much of a fan with that. Okay, it looks like I have to pair it again. All right, so let's go ahead and run through another test. This one's actually looking a lot better now. I'm not sure if I didn't do anything differently. All right, let's see here. Let me do another test. Up and A, top right, right, down, bottom left, left, upper right, and center. See, now it looks better. That's pretty good. Okay. All right, now I'm going to take out the controller. Actually, I'm going to power it off. I have the official N64 controller with a SteelSticks 64 joystick mod. And it works amazing on the N64. I highly recommend getting one if you can find one. They're pretty hard to find nowadays. So let's try and compare the two controllers to the official controller with a new bowl and a new stick. Okay, so I swapped the port. Now this is player 1. And let's go ahead down to the controller tester. This one's really snazzy. Okay. Start the test. Up, right, 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 down, bottom left. Okay, so that's an OEM controller with the SteelSticks bowl. So it looks pretty similar. Pretty similar. You can see those number readouts right there. And it looks OEM. I'm not sure what the original test was. Maybe it needs to be loosened up a bit because I haven't used this as a controller in a while. But yeah, it looks pretty close. All right, let's do one more test with it, okay? I'm gonna turn it off and then put the dongle back in. Okay, let's see if I can connect here again. Yeah, it doesn't look like it connects by default. I don't know if there's gonna be an update to that. But yeah, it looks like I have to keep syncing it, which, I mean, ideally you would want it to connect automatically. Let's see if it connects. So I just have to click sync here and then sync on the dongle. Okay, all right, finally connected. Okay, here we go. One more test. All right, here we go. All right, up. Okay, so not bad. Not 100% accurate, but really close. Really, really close. Okay. All right, I think for fun, let's go ahead and try out some of the other controllers that I do have. Let's see how they work out. Okay, we plug those in. Okay, so I plugged in for fun the Retrofighters Kickstarter controller. Let's go down to the controller test. Let's see how this one does. Okay. There we go, sorry. Okay, let's go up, top right. Oof, that, okay. So that's a new shape, really consistent though. The other official controller, as you can see by the numbers here, the official controller is negative 80 in the 84 range. So this is way out of the parameters here. So maybe that's why I was getting those when I was trying it out. It was just felt weird. It's just out of bounds pretty much. But it's consistent. It's a very consistent shape, just not a shape I was expecting. It should be no longer than that dot there in these dot parameters here. Way out of range, way out of range. See, this is what it should look like. All right, let's try another one just to see what it's like. All right, so for fun, I'm gonna try the official NSO controller. Okay, I have it hooked up to the dongle here. I was able to sync it, and let's go down to the controller tester. Let's see what those results look like. Okay. Oh, so you guys can see here. Up center. Yeah, look at that. This is as OEM as you're gonna get. Well, it is OEM to be perfectly honest, but it's by Bluetooth. You see here the range. We're supposed to get around 84-ish, but just by looking at the picture, looks like it's just slightly off, but way better than the Fighters controller. A little more consistent than the Bluetooth update. Now, to be perfectly honest, it could be the bowl and the joystick in here. I mean, this is the original one. Maybe me updating it or cleaning it and might give us better results, but just look at this with the NSO controller. So the NSO controller with the N64 dongle seems to get you the most consistent OEM result, but it looks great. So yeah, I'm very happy with this update, considering that this controller, NSO controller, is roughly $80. Kit was roughly $30 shipped, which isn't bad at all, and it gives you a nice cool OEM controller in multiple colors, which is something that the NSO controller does not offer. And if you have this dongle, playing original N64 games will be great. This also works for the Nintendo Switch as well. You can even tell here, if you look on here, you can even see the additional buttons on here, the home button, the ZR button, and things like that. So yeah, it's pretty good. I'm very happy with it. And yeah, I'll be using it for my gaming. So thanks everyone, and I'll see you guys around. Bye-bye.